On August 25th, a young theater artist, a teatrista from Watsonville, California, brought her one-woman show to the Alisal Center for the Fine Arts for a 3-night run. La Sombra by Cristal Gonzalez was that show, and it was more than just an opportunity to see a play on the east side of Salinas, but it provided a window to a world that so many women live in today.
Interesting enough, someone last night came up to me after we had that talk back, and she said, "Why did you name it La Sombra?" And I almost wish she would have asked that question out loud, because it's a good question. And I wrote it because when I was writing like poetry in regards to what happened to my experience, I remember reflecting on a fight that I was having with this ex-partner of mine, and I remember crying a lot. I remember that I was crying a lot that day that we fought, and I went to the bathroom and I just sat there and I cried. It must have been like 2 hours that I just sat there and cried. And I remember looking up and seeing myself in the mirror, and I didn't recognize myself. And it's like this idea that I didn't know my own reflection. So that's why I decided to call it La Sombra. Like, in the midst of all that chaos, I lost track of my shadow, right?
I mean, everybody here we all felt her struggle, especially, being here in the small town of Salinas. There's a lot of people who, don't have that voice, and having her on stage, being able to speak as a woman meant a lot to me, being a woman. And she's breaking a lot of stereotypes, and I'm like, go girl, you got it. Like, keep doing this, because this is how we're gonna break these customs that, are not good, that, Mexican women should be quiet, and that they should be sweet, and that we should have bows tied around our hands and our mouths, and like, no, you should speak up. You're a beautiful, strong, independent woman, and she's showing that for so many people. So
I thought it was a very powerful play, and I think that all young women should be able to watch it. So just if they're in that position, they can know that someone that was in that position was able to get out of it, and hopefully they could learn and get the courage to grow as a person as well.
I think it's important because it brings, it creates that dialogue, because it's very common, at the end of the play, Miss Cristal Gonzalez, she had, that kind of exchange, with the crowd, and it was they had like a really just intimate moment, talking, and people, I was actually really shocked at how many women, raised their hand and, had that connected with Cristal, and that they had been victims themselves. And as a guy, it sucks, it's hard, it's difficult, at least for me, considering I have 2 sisters, and I'm very, very close to my mom, and it made it kind of that difficult. But I think it makes us kind of look within ourselves, as men, that we, need to be held accountable. And hopefully, it challenges men to reflect, if they're, participating in behaviors like that, maybe it'll, I don't know, create change.
I don't know if it was Luis Valdez who told me this, but he said, if you don't write your story, then don't expect anyone else to write it for you. And that's always been in my head. If I keep complaining that there's not enough stories on stage that don't reflect me, I do nothing. I need to provide those stories on stage. I need to be part of that.